was alone and it was night. I had nobody else to turn to but the voices talking to me from afar. And with endearing words so silent, they told me the secret about who you really are. A million images and words long since forgotten, of events that no one ever saw. I hear a whimper as I kneel, realizing that it's your pain that I feel. I felt the presence of the past, the future, and the present now. The voices placed me in the minds of two young lovers, the husband in the war who's never coming home. The young girl realizing she's in fact a boy, and the old man recollecting his first toy. The widow, the rapist, a gold digger, the hero, and at last the voice I've heard before. In this house of worship, I'm a stone, but there's blood gushing out of the cracks and fissures. Split me in two and I'm hollow inside. You can make me feel their sorrow. Did you think that the earth could cry?
What's going on? Check, 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 check. What's going on? How you doing? The reward. The review of the sword. Man, you remembering a lot of classic moments there. OA. How goes it? Guacamole, RMG, Rip Notebook, OA, Putrid Abomination, Rodney, all y'all. Oh, I have a kitty that wants out. I also need to get I forgot to get water. I'll be right back. Hold on. Come on up, Chris. There you go. I feel like one of those coked out comedians. I need just a shitload of water for a day. Oh yeah, cheers. So the song, in case you don't know, that is, and the Stone said, "If I Could Speak" by Beardfish. I've been watching a lot of older videos lately, and Beardfish is a band that we talked about once or twice on the channel. They are an excellent group who is unfortunately no longer a part of the musical landscape. They retired from music a couple years ago. It was kind of sucked. Because their album Comfort Zone, which ended up being their last album, is exceptional. It's really, really good, and in fact placed on the top 50 list for that year. I've been looking at a couple of those old lists, and found myself watching old reviews from like 2015, even going all the way back to 2011. Seeing some really interesting and amazing things, such as the fact that probably the video that most have come to me because of is the Morbid Angel review from all the way back in 2011, a long time ago, and that's still a video that it doesn't even have 70,000 views. Like, it is still, whenever it comes to the overall totem pole of my work, is slowly but surely continuing to fall down further and further whenever it comes to the videos with the most views. I don't know what you were just listening to on YouTube, Maru. If it was Beardfish, then we would have some sort of like really, really weird connection, which pretty sure we have anyway, but you know. Nothing does come out next week from Korn. There will be a review for that. I will be getting to the new Disillusion. That will be this week, as well as the new KO Dot. Two videos that I know will not garner a high view count, but it's the first time that Disillusion has an album out in quite a long time, so that's very worthwhile talking about. It's going to be the only opportunity. Back to the Times of Splendor is a underground classic. If you don't know about that album, you should go seek it out, check it out, listen to it, love it, adore it. And KO Dot is the post-modeling of the Well activity for Toby Driver, who is really is the mastermind behind the modeling of the Well project that I love it. Just absolutely love it. So, knowing where they are now is very, very important. Some of the noise you might be hearing is my AC. It is hot as hell. We are in the midst of a September heat wave. This is not even the worst it's going to get. So, yeah. There's a good chance that you may see or may hear a little bit of background noise from that AC, I'm not going to be turning that off because I'm not going to be soaked in sweat within 10 minutes and dying by the time the stream is over. So apologies, but it's not going to change. But thank you for letting me know, RMG, that the music was a little loud. I made some adjustments there. Hopefully those are okay for y'all. So we, today, I kind of want to maybe talk a little bit about some of those old videos, maybe take a couple of questions. We, of course, have the bid war going on. If you take a look to your left, that started last Thursday and will be going on throughout the remainder of September. Those videos have the opportunity of being added to the very final list week in channel history in December, and you see the 4 options that are available there. CCAN's top 50 albums of all time. I had done a video like that, but it was only with 25, and that was also a long time ago. That currently is in the lead with $128.54. The number 1 albums from 2010 to 2019 ranked. So we take all the albums of the year and we find out which of those is the supreme album of the decade. That currently stands in 3rd place with $6. The top 25 albums of the 2010s, a retrospective of the decade that was, is currently in 2nd place with $12. If both number 2 and number 3 are met, then I can assure you that the top 25 albums of the 2010s would not be a regurgitation of all those albums of the year. We would instead truly operate that as its own video, so we'll go with albums that are not on the other list. We'll do something fun with that. And in the surprise of, I would say, day 1, the top 10 metal idiots of all time. This would be an all-time list, so it would be a chronicle of everything. Currently sits in the basement with $0, and as you see directly underneath of that, if a video, one of those options, makes it to $600, it is guaranteed to be made. The way bid wars usually work is that only the one that has the highest level of funding gets made. But I operate bid wars a little bit differently. I want to give you guys the opportunity to get everything that you want and everything that is there. So that is the watermark for this bid war. That is where we are looking to get to. And if all 4 are met, there's going to be a bonus video, so you'll get a 5th video out of that as well, which I'm leaning a lot more toward like a top 10 rants of all time, or a ranking of the top 10 worst albums of the decade, or revisiting all of the worst albums of the year and giving them one final tongue lashing. I want it to be special because I know that a lot of you are a little bit more geared toward the rants that have happened on the channel. And either way, I'm just supremely appreciative of all of your support throughout these years. Been a little bit reflective. As of late. Especially last night, I went through a ton of old videos, and even continued doing that through today. Went through almost the entire 5 recently released album series. I had about 1 or 2 videos. The first 2 videos in the series left whenever we went to start streaming, so I was very, very close. Guacamole coming through with 2 BGNs. I need to realize what that is. Is that Belgian? I'm trying to recall that. Yeah, that is. Oh, Bulgarian Lev. So do that. That's actually 113 when translated, so we will throw that up onto the board. I thank you very much, GC, or GN, should I say. I should just go with GN, I suppose. Now I need to remember my own setup here. My own setup is ridiculous. Is it you? No. It's you, isn't it? It is you. I like you. That's heading toward number 1. And so it now has that updated total, that correct updated total. Thank you very much. Appreciated. You actually, with that that donation, you can grab yourself a track that is 2 minutes or less, and I can play it on here for you. I'll tell you what song always gets me in a reflective mood, and I've been listening to this a lot, so maybe it's why I've been in this reflective mood. It's Jerry Rafferty from 1978. You might say, why that song, or why that artist, why that whatever. I don't know. I just really, really like this song a lot. And I just now realized the Foo Fighters did a cover of this song. Oh wow, that is from a long time ago. No wonder I missed it. I'm a big fan of this track. I love the hell out of Baker Street from Jerry Rafferty. We're going to listen to it right now because I freaking want to. I love it. Just makes me happy. Makes me happy. Mango, nice to see you. Volum Nisty, nice to see you as well. Dawn Souls, how you doing? How you doing? Maru, of course, I do believe that I had said hello to you before, but I saw you were listening to David Hasselhoff, which, the Hoff, I mean, what a talent. What a talent. He's on Baywatch, he can sing. He's even in SpongeBob. In case you'll pick one later, that's fine. Just let me know, my friend. Let me know. How is the stream going to be going? I am hoping that this stream goes till at least 7:30. In order for us to do that, we're going to need a couple things. We're going to need some music to play, and we're going to need to just talk our freaking heads off. That's all I'm going to say. I hope everyone, I hope YouTube fixed their shit, and y'all are able to donate what you want and not incur any difficulty. If you are still having difficulty with Super Chat, utilize the PayPal link that is down below, or you can just utilize Super Chat in small spurts. So, in pure fashion, we have the Riff Notebook, who is the first to call out the difficulty Super Chat was having last Thursday. He comes in with Nutshell with Alice in Chains, or by Alice in Chains, wanting it to go toward number one. Number one is right now the most popular out of all of them. I have a feeling it's going to run away with this, which means if you want to see some of those other videos made, I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to get your funding in, because it looks like the only way that that's going to happen, based off of how hype number one is right now by everybody else, is by getting to that $600 level. I'm just saying, there's still time, things can still change, big boys can still occur, they occur all the time. The last day of big boys are always absolutely insane. So whenever it comes to the later portion of this month, especially near the end of this month, you're going to want to be available, because there's always a treat. This is the last time we're probably going to be doing this, so you know that the big boys are going to come to play. And Echo already? Are you kidding me? Okay, well, we can take care of that. Yep, that should handle it. That was an extremely fast Echo, which doesn't have me very happy. That tells me that YouTube is struggling. And I know that YouTube just launched a thing called Live Control Room. And, I'm not a fan of it. I'm going to tell you that. Anytime they make these changes, their whole entire website just seems to corrode around itself for a little while. And, makes me curious. Ooh boy, you know that AC is on, man. It is still very, very warm in here. And I'm wondering if that's the reason for the echo, because remember, we discovered that the echo comes from power surges that I get inside this lovely apartment. If you're curious where your funding is going to, you know, you're going to get the content out of it. I'm using the funding to get the heck out of this building. This building is a fucking death trap. And it's also going towards Cornell's bill, and it's also going toward monthly living expenses, which are not cheap. If you remember the streams from the summertime, costs, bills alone in this piece of shit can run as high as about $1,000. So, yay. Anyhow. As I was going through my journey, I learned that probably the most popular artist on this channel, the one that people tend to come out for the most, is Ghost. Ghost has 2 videos throughout the channel's history that have eclipsed not only 100,000 views, but 200,000 views. Now, neither of them are album reviews. Both of them are either news-related or the 5 Reasons video. The 5 Reasons series has the videos with the highest view count with ease. There's multiple 5 Reasons videos that have eclipsed 100,000 views, 2 of which that have eclipsed 200,000, and 1 5 Reasons People Hate Slayer video, which hit 250,000 views very, very recently, like within this past summer. Thank you for that, I guess. That's pretty insane. Obviously, Slayer fans are very diehard. You figure that Slipknot would be the most popular? That is a big time no. The Slipknot video does have, if I remember correctly, 100,000 views. The 5 Reasons video, that is. I'd have to dial this up real quick and take a look. In fact, I will. But their album reviews usually stall out for Slipknot around 50K. At least that's been what's happening with the last couple, if they even hit that. And their news videos, I think folks are just sick and tired of the whole, what would Corey Taylor do or say thing. And actually, the 5 Reasons People Hate Slipknot video, only 84,458 views. So, there you go. There are some of the bands that you would expect to be the highest are actually not. Like even Tool, for example. That 5 Reasons video does have 100K. That one currently sits at 152,770 views. But everything else, that was the only video that we talked about Tool for a long time. Fear Inoculum, for example, is only at, I think, 62,000 views, which I'm honestly kind of disappointed about. Can I just be real for a second how I'm kind of disappointed about the fact that that's all it has? And the thing is that even if this was 2016 and I was producing content all the time, I don't think that it would be that much greater or lesser. It might actually be lesser. I was kind of thinking that was going to be one of those videos where you just sit back and watch it just shoot to the moon. So I was extremely surprised. In fact, before its release, I was musing with the fans over on Facebook about whether or not this could be the video that hits those hallowed like 300,000, 400, 500,000, maybe 750,000 views. And then, well, I think a couple of things prevented that. Let's talk about that while we listen to Nutshell by Alice in Chains, which, by the way, is just one of my all-time favorite songs. Period. One of the things that I believe really dethroned that, or that kind of gave it a little bit less of an incentive for folks to watch, even though you would think it would give it more incentive. Honestly, I believe is the way in which the Fantana video went down. Zoltanius coming through at $9.99 with Mejbre, Silver, Bloodshot, Dawn, Inadequacy. We will get that in there for you. But Zoltanius, where would you like that to go? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Yes, I see that is 2 different songs. Mejbre with Silver, and then Bloodshot Dawn. I know Bloodshot Dawn. I don't know Mejbre, so that'll be new for me. 1, 2, 3, or 4 though, Zoltanius. Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate that very, very much. But yeah, the Fantana video, I think that just the way in which it went down because of his negative opinion is it sort of guided people more over there, considering it was the meme, I guess. And again, I love Anthony. And I respect his opinion a ton. And again, I feel like that is one of the reasons why fewer people have come over to my video, because that has a little bit more of an insult behind it, I guess, or at least that what people are considering an insult. They don't like the opinion. They think the opinion is bad. So more people will go to a bad opinion than they will a good one, just to talk shit. But that's sort of what happens sometimes. If you notice, the videos of mine that have done the best are the ones that are negative, usually. It's either a news report on something, or it is a negative, sort of a negative thing. In fact, if you go through, and I'm going to do that, let me adjust that real quick for you. There's a little bit of, I feel like I'm like below this, despite the fact that I'm right on top of it. But if you take a look at this, we have a 5 reasons video. That's a 5 reasons people hate. And the top spot, 5 reasons people hate. Ghost was never a band. That's a news report about Tobias Forge being kind of a dick. And there's 5 reasons people hate Tool, 5 reasons people hate Mastodon, 5 reasons people hate Iron Maiden, 10 or so overrated metal bands, 5 reasons people hate Pantera, 10 of the worst metal albums of all time, 5 reasons people hate Lamb of God, 5 reasons people hate Avenged Sevenfold. I mean, how many have we gone through right there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, before we get to an actual album review being on that list, and that's Metallica's Hardwired to Self-Destruct, which to this day is the album review of mine that has the highest number of views, with just over 101,000. Actually, it's nearing 102,000 views. But then directly after that, 10 most overhated metal bands. 5 reasons today's pop music sucks. 5 reasons why some people hate heavy metal. And then we get to another album review, but it's the Japanese subtitle edition of Baby Metal, of that album review. So you're noticing that a lot of the negatives are the ones that have all of the views. So you see kind of where people's, what they really want to watch, I guess. I guess folks just want to be mad. Measure with Silver, this is coming to you. I feel like these guys are maybe Korean or Japanese. Where are these guys from? Where are these folks from? I guess we're going to find out. Thanks again for the donation, and here we go. Measure with Silver. For some reason, whenever I say Measure, I think of the underneath. I guess that's fair. Damn. This is your last live stream with CKN. Uh-oh. What happens to be the problem? Are you leaving us forever? Have you been banned from YouTube? Completely? Are you being shipped out? Because we have had that. We've actually had that. Guacamole, yes, you sure can. What is your song selection? Tell me, my friend. Has anyone heard the last Mastodon album? I think a lot of us have. That was a review that did decently. We have played tracks off of that album here in chat. They've had recommendations for that. It is not uncommon. Banned from YouTube? Never. It's impossible. You can't be banned from YouTube. Yes, you can. YouTube is banning you as of September the 18th. Okay. What have you done, Joel? You naughty, naughty boy. You naughty boy. Oh, cheers to that, though. You finally got yourself, Man, considering some of the things I've said, whew. You showed some of that dick, didn't you? You showed your penis, didn't you? But this new album is a tremendous comeback. It is a very, very good comeback, I must say. You only like Undertow, you've never gotten into the other albums? You like that heavier sound then, Steven. That's cool. I'm not sure if you checked out Tempest from Fear Inoculum, but if you like the stuff from Undertow, that's a track where I think you'll really feel a little bit more at home, especially during the first half of that song. You hope the new Korn album does great. I just hope for a smooth experience listening to it. I remember being pleasantly surprised with the Serenity of Suffering and not having much negative to say, and that's very nice. I don't like to, fly off the handle. If I'm being honest, I've not really listened to too many negative albums in 2019, so I'm going to probably require a lot of input whenever it comes to that. I've heard a lot of albums that have felt very, not so much generic, but run-of-the-mill, but nothing has really struck me as just abysmal. But I've also not listened to nearly the same quantity that I have in years past, because remember, I took 4 months off. Chances are a lot of the shit was in those 4 months, too. Riff Novo comes over the top with $5, wants to hear Barzabel by Behemoth. I'm assuming that the 5 is still going toward number 1. So we will go ahead and reflect that update. We'll reflect it. And we are nearing $150 for number 1, which means that we are nearly a quarter of the way to it being guaranteed of being made. We are nearly a quarter of the way there already, and we're only in stream number 2 of, we'll probably be anywhere between 8 and 10 streams, so we're not even a tenth of the way potentially through, or a fifth of the way, should I say, potentially through these streams for the bid war. It's basically what I'll be doing is that on days where I'm not posting or recording videos, I'll be streaming. So yesterday I didn't stream because we posted the Tool Rank 'Em All, which if you didn't get the opportunity to check out that video, I recommend that you do that. Watch it once, watch it 5 times, watch it 10 times. Hey, just put it on a loop and just play it all night. Please do. That would be wonderful. Help me, I'm starving. You didn't like the new New Year's Day or Motionless in White's albums. Within Temptation was pretty disappointing. Out of those 3, did I even do a review on Motionless in White? I don't think I did. You know, like Slipknot's new album all that much? I actually liked it. RMG, I did a review of the new Slipknot record. Whenever you choose to depart tonight, if it's after the stream is over, or even if you want to go and check it out real quick, it is available. Just look on the channel under 2019 album reviews or the Slipknot discography review. I've actually talked about every one of Slipknot's albums, with the lone exception of Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat. And that's mostly because I didn't feel like I was the best person to discuss that disc. And I also kind of wanted to stick with the stuff that I knew about within my life, because the self-titled albums, Slipknot, I remember, and I've told this story so many times that some of you are probably like, God, shut up about this story, we know. I had a friend from, at that point, she was living in Texas, and back in, God, what was it, 98 or 99, it was right after Wait and Bleed became a single on the radio, and it was starting to get a little bit of traction. The album, I don't think, had even dropped yet. I sent her a mixtape. If you remember that, some of you are probably way too young to remember mixtapes where you would get stuff off of the radio using a cassette tape, and then you would, send it to somebody, give it to somebody. Usually you see it in movies, it's shown as like a little romantic thing or whatever, and back then, I'm not sure if that was really the intention. I just loved music so much and figured, hey, this would be something cool to share with somebody who, at that point, I'm not really too sure was able to get a lot of music in her life aside from the radio or the internet, which back then the internet was not what it is today. There was no YouTube, there wasn't any Spotify or iTunes or any of that stuff. So you kind of found the stuff from the radio, you found the stuff from your friends, and I remember writing specifically whenever I had included Wait and Bleed that there is a really good chance that this band is going to be huge. Bloodshot Dawn with Inadequacy up next. This one also sponsored, funded by Zoltanius. Oh, that is extremely loud. I know that one is loud. There we go. That should be a little bit better. Back then there was no monetization on YouTube. There was no YouTube back then. We're talking 1999, not 2009. That was very, very, very loud. Well, I also remember, if we're going back into some old videos and some old philosophies and stuff like that, I remember an old post that I had that basically stated, hey, if you want to donate $1 for every band that CKN has gotten you into, or like a review on this channel has gotten you into. Because I remember back then, I was trying to think of just about a little bit of everything. Considering the Patreon was just stagnant, and I always hated sounding that way. I always did, but I don't know, like you go into some other channels and you just see folks just throwing all this money around and you're like, what in the hell? It's so different. Man, that was years ago, it feels like, mostly because it was years ago. But cheers to everybody who's been in here. Cheers to everybody who has been donating now for the past couple of years to these streams. I mean, some of y'all are just insane, and hey, I love you for it. You guys have done your thing and have definitely kept this thing going for a lot longer than it was probably designed to go for. In reality, this probably should have died in 2005. So it should have died. So instead of me deciding to go full time with it, I probably should have just closed up shop and gone out into the real world. But back then, I'll put it to you like this: if what happened in 2015 happened now, especially with my knowledge of YouTube and how it functions, I would not have made the choice to go full-time at all. 2015 was a much different time for YouTube. It was a much different time for me. It was, it seemed like the best option. And it seemed like there was still going to, that freedom was also going to lead to just some potential for lucrative venture, and lucrative was a bad word to use because it was not. But anyway, I plan on doing a real big one for the last stream of the bid war. Oh dear, ay caramba. Riffy is calling his shot, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I want to make everybody interested, or not interested, but I want to make everyone clear of what Zoltanius did. He did something very, very intelligent. Instead of putting every one of his requests into one separate, each on the separate donations, he instead combined two. So he got 2 tracks out of it. That is perfectly legal. You're allowed to do that. If you have 4 or 5 things in mind, feel free. Just remember, it's basically $1 a minute. If you have a full album that you want to hear, we do that too. Take a look at the runtime of the album, convert that into dollars, US dollars, and ba-bing, ba-boom. Cool Dog, I was watching that Book of Souls. I was watching that Book of Souls review last night, man, and I remember that was like the first review that I was ever kind of like spooked about. Because I was thinking, oh man, you know, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? How's this going to go? GN, I don't think I caught what the request was. Could you please place that back in the chat once again for me? I would appreciate it. Carefully controlled alert, says Maru. Carefully controlled. I don't know how controlled that was. That seems impulsive. That was Bloodshot Dawn. That was Inadequacy. We are going to await what the Guacamole's request is, because he actually started off, he or she, should I say, I'm going to assume a he. Can't believe you're assuming my gender. Started this whole thing off. 5 guys in your army unit actually watch me as well. Is that so? Oh my gosh. I can't believe that. That seems crazy. They need to get their asses into these streams. We need some hoorahs going on, my dude. We need to get some hoorah going up here. I'm gonna make that. That's pissing me off. It raising itself like that. There you go. I still don't see it. That's a Marine thing. I don't care. They can do it too. Let everybody do it. Let them all do it. They can just pretend that I'm Leroy Jethro Gibbs and they're other characters from NCIS. Hi, cool guy. Stream is going rather decently. GN, I didn't see your request in chat. I'm just looking for you to, GN, if you're trying to post a link, it won't work. Just write the artist, a dash, and then the song title. Very, very simply. Guys from Rock Coliseum say I'm a legend in the shadows. I feel like I'm in the shadows. You were watching me whenever I was in my parents' house? Oh God. That pretty much was never. For the whole entire time that I was on YouTube, I have been either independent or in an apartment. It's not a link. Yeah, because Guacamole, you went right from saying that I hadn't played your song yet to asking to saying there you go, like you had posted something. So I didn't see anything in chat there. Do I think Creed gets too much hate? Sometimes I think that Scott Stapp gets too much hate, but then you see or hear about some of the things he does, and it makes sense. I think it's mostly just Scott. The remainder of the band doesn't really deserve the hate nearly as much. While we wait for Guacamole to patch us through to his request there, we have 2 things to do. First of all, here's Bartzabel by Behemoth. This is an ad for something terrible. I don't even know what that is. If they want to reach out to me, that'd be great. No, the wood paneling wasn't at my folks' house. That was actually mine. That was the first quote-unquote apartment I ever lived in. The place affectionately known as the dollhouse because it was so small and it looked like... Now, okay, as a misnomer, that was on my folks' property. But it was an independent entity. So... it's a little bit of, like I said, that's a misnomer, but that's okay. So we do have that. We need to also read Maru's requests, which we have the Blanco with Soul to Soul, Snake Romeo, or Romero rather, with The Last Sunset, Ember Falls, Heart-Shaped Black Scar, and Old Gods of Asgard with Take Control. 4 requests in 1. But Maru, here's the question I have for you, lovely Maru. 1, 2, 3, or 4? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Where is that 20 heading to? This, by the way, is an awesome song. Maru is going for number 1. So once again, number 1 just running wild. 166.66. Holy crackers. I think Guacamole is having some difficulties trying to get his request off to me. Which, yikes. I hope he's able to get it fixed. Or able to get it to me. There are probably some other ways that we could do it. Maybe email if necessary. Anyway. This is one of the best tracks from the album. We're all seeing your text, but if there was a request in there, it is not showing up at all. So no. If you want to send me a link over on via email, coverkillernation@gmail.com. Real nice and simple. I think that this is a review here, or not a review, but an album that I don't know why some people shat on it. I kind of don't understand it. I really enjoyed this disc, kind of from head to toe. I wasn't sure if Behemoth was going to be able to continue on with their sort of like semi-hot streak that they had going on. And they really proved me wrong by going about this album a bit differently, by combining different eras. That is a very strong possibility, Guacamole. I do have a couple of... I may have a couple filtered words, but I don't remember what they are. I don't remember exactly what those words are, so if it is catching one of the filters, then I do apologize. Because another thing that YouTube will do, or at least this was a threat, I'm not sure if they're actually going about this. If I'm looking at the revenue that I get from Super Chat, I'm going to say probably so. Things that they deem to be bad, they actually take the donation and they give it to charity. So the person that submits it still loses their money. The streamer doesn't get any money because apparently they're encouraging this behavior. And, yeah. Kind of a bunch of shit. But yes, there's a very good chance that there might be something that's... but I would think that I would see a message on my side that's indicating that that's what's happening. And I see nothing. I see zero. So, I don't know what's going on with that. Favorite solo work or In Flames album? For In Flames, it is Horacle. I adore Horacle. I think that it is just an amazing album. You can kind of see where the transition was starting to take place, the maturity of songwriting for In Flames. For solo work, it is Steel Bath Suicide. Going all the way back. The guitar solos on that album are absurd. Absolutely absurd. Man. Early Melodeath stuff is just really fucking creative. You know, we kind of know Melodeath for some different reasons now, unfortunately. Soul to Soul by The Blanco coming up next. The next 4 songs that you're going to hear were all requested from Maru, so check them out and give them a little bit of love. So please check out Soul to Soul by The Blanco. Bubba Mike comes through with $1.99. Howard Shore with Andrew, best song from any movie ever. He says, hey Bubba Mike, where is that heading? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Waterblanc is here, and he is not afraid to show and flex his muscles with 5-Star Grave and Daddy. Again, 1, 2, 3, or 4, Mr. Blanky. Meanwhile, I will have to scope out conversions for today, considering it changes every single day. But thank you to the both of you. I appreciate it. Bubba Mike says, number 1, Maru and Mango Fusion Time. Oh god. So we would have Mangru. Mangru. So that's $2.53. $1.99 heading toward number 1. I'm sure Blanc will let us know his selection here momentarily. The absolute runaway. Since I don't really care for Mustaine, my opinion changed from the time that that was recorded. Whenever I was making that top 25 video, I was a pretty big Mustaine fan. And again, I have to do my best in those situations to separate the music from the individual, because if I like something, if I like their music, you know, you can't just stop liking someone's music, I guess. Blanky is saying numero uno. So $2.53 being added to number 1, which again is just running away with everything. So we are at 171.18. God damn. You cannot hear the audio at all. Are you sure? Because there is very little difference from where it was before and where it is now. In fact, the audio for the music is at its lowest levels. I can crank that a little further. Hello, hello. There have been no dropped frames, but I am noticing some slowness, so yay. Now Tuesdays won't even be able to be sacred to us. Again, I mentioned earlier, Blanky, that there has been some changes to YouTube. You know how well my freaking shit reacts to that. AKA, it doesn't. Now, I am work. Evil Toad in the building. How you doing? How you doing? Now the music is a little quiet. That is odd, because I barely touched that. It is extremely sensitive, apparently. No, a good mix would be very, very nice. So, that'd be great. Looking good now? Very good. Very good. That was Soul to Soul by The Blanco. Or The Blanco. Say it however you will. Snake Romero coming up next with The Last Sunset. Unless it's meant to be Snake Romeo. It's not. Ooh, a little synthwave. Interesting. Interesting selection. I like it. Got a little bit of everything here. Ah! Okay. I'm gonna have to... I'm not sure why that wasn't showing before, but it's showing now. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, Evil Toad, I heard you guys are having some pretty bad storms out there. We are under a threat of them here in a couple of days, but aside from that, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Yeah, I'm not sure why that wasn't working before, but it did eventually. Again, YouTube's about as consistent as a comfortable liar. So for, instead of 9 out of 10 dentists agreeing with something, you would have 10 different opinions, and none of them would be the same. You're not going to get the same experience with YouTube. That's just the way that it's been for the past couple of years, and how they seem just fine with it continuing, mostly because, you know, through demonetization and, you know, shifting around money and stuff like that. Yeah. Either YouTube itself gets paid more, or one of their corporate friends, or one of those big boys. It's a whole bunch of money. It's all about money. Money and control. Oh yeah. Yeah, Dorian is a big deal. For the Bahamas, it was absolutely devastating. Looking at some of the photos, some of the video that has come out of what those islands look like is absolutely tragic. And, man, there's a lot of different ways that you yourself can help that have been floating around. I, of course, tend to not really buy into the American Red Cross. I've heard some negative things in the past couple of years. If you remember, whenever we helped out with Hurricane Harvey, we went with a very direct relief centered charity for that. One where it was right there in the affected area, you know, that was directly going to help those people when they needed it the most. So, like I said, I tend to be a little sketched out by the American Red Cross, even to this day, even though things have apparently improved. But to add on, there's also been some damage reports and some bad flooding down in the Carolinas. But the Bahamas, man, that is... If you remember Maria from a couple of years ago, if you remember what happened with Puerto Rico, devastation. Just absolute devastation. So, it is what it is. The funny thing about our extreme weather is that for most of my life, the most extreme thing that you had to worry about in my corner of the world was maybe a little bit of flooding, which back then was exceptionally rare, almost never happened. Now we have flooding almost every year. You maybe had to worry about lightning hitting a tree in your yard or something like that. The lightning has been ridiculous as of the past couple of months. Tons of trees have been hit, power lines have been struck, including the one right behind my building. So that was awesome. Tornadoes were never something that was a threat. Past 5 years, though, tons of tornado warnings. You know, whenever you get those spring to early summer storms, we've been getting tornado warnings at the rate of at least 2 or 3 a year. And there's been one that I know that has been confirmed, and it was a quick one. Nothing that you could see visually. It was that fast. But man, it fucked up part of the town. What's up, Joe? You rock, my friend. But snowstorms are still a threat, though we're not getting them nearly as bad as we used to. Global warming, I guess. Either that or we just haven't been on the receiving end of a real bad punch from a snowstorm. The last one that we got was Winter Storm Jonas, which was 2016, so 3 years ago. We got 28 inches of snow, which for a blizzard / winter storm, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. About what you would call that a hell of a pop. That one caught a lot of people off guard because every outlet was saying that this side of Pennsylvania was only going to get between 3 to 6 inches, maybe 8 at the most. And then at the 11th hour, whenever they realized, no, y'all a bunch of dumb boys, they started to realize, fuck, 16 to 24, and then we got above the top of that. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. Snowstorms are just a really strange beast. That's all that I can say, and that's all that I can really call it as accurately as I can. They're an interesting phenomena, and there are some areas where you're going to get that as part of your climate relatively often. In a lot of cases, there are some areas that just don't. You get snow, but you don't get blizzards or really, really bad storms. It's kind of just like whenever you get rainstorms throughout the course of a year. Yeah, that doesn't impress me, you asshole. It's probably the same guy that was in the freaking one video, whatever it was. Ember Falls with heart-shaped black scar. Coming up next, we'll have one more track from Maru after this. We will get to Guacamole's track finally. Now that we know what it is, and I can find it. I don't care about Grammarly. Suck my balls. Go back to school and learn the language. Oh, Joel. You know what you do if you get banned? Just make a new account. Hey, it's another subscriber. Woo! Yeah, some folks in CKN have had this same situation. Just remember the channel name and create something brand new, and there you go. Got some solid 5 billion years. We got tons of time. You know, life is life. World's going to keep on spinning after I retire from Facebook, after I retire from, you know, whatever my next job is, after I retire from life and die, you know, whenever I'm 92. You know, after my kids, if I ever have any, you know, retire and die. You know, this is just a little planet that's going to keep on spinning unless we somehow find a way to freaking crack its core and blow it up. This is Ember Falls with heart-shaped black scar. But yeah, that's what I would suggest, Joel. And in fact, if you know that that's coming, I would go ahead and get it started. You might not be able to use the same email address or things like that. Just get a new email. It's easy to make a new email on Gmail. You know? Yeah, Ember Falls, which is kind of ironic considering I have a cat named Ember, and she's pretty nimble on her feet. Pretty good, pretty good. Joel Shoemaker. Make it Joel Batewoman. If you launched a missile at the sun, all depending on the size of the missile, you would cause bad solar flares. Probably be a heck of a thing to see. But I can guarantee you that that missile probably wouldn't make it to the surface of the sun at all. That missile would be overheated and would probably explode hundreds of thousands of miles prior to even getting into its atmosphere. The sheer heat of it alone would cause the combustion to happen. I saw somebody the other day talk about Eat the Elephant by Perfect Circle like it was a Pussifer album. Which, granted, Eat the Elephant was a pretty big letdown, at least for me. But I would not have considered it a Pussifer album by any sense. Yeah, let's nuke hurricanes. Yeah, first of all, the funny thing is that if you nuke a hurricane, chances are you're just going to give the hurricane more energy. You're actually adding more energy to the equation and not diffusing anything whatsoever. And second of all, they've actually done science to figure out if this would even be a possibility. And the realization is that for a full-fledged hurricane like the size of Dorian, you would need something like 100 atomic bombs to make any sort of sizable difference. Because the amount of energy that is found within a hurricane, within those bands and everything, is so intense and so powerful that the size and the radiation zone or the fallout of dropping a nuke in there would not be wide enough. It wouldn't be long enough. It could still get organized. It's a natural occurring process. You can't disrupt nature whenever nature is that large. And plus, if you fail, now all of a sudden you could potentially have rain or wind or things that have been affected by the sunshine units of radiation. So all you're doing is fucking up your citizens potentially, or fucking up the ocean life. Basically just doing a lot of wank. You're accomplishing a whole lot of nothing and making what's going to be a bad natural disaster about 1,000 times worse. The old gods of Asgard would take control to finish off the Maru block, the carefully controlled block, as she put it. While you folks enjoy this, I am going to go to the bathroom. I will be right back. We'll talk more about nuking hurricanes. Stupidest idea I've ever heard. I picked up somebody along the way. I picked up somebody along the way back. Hey, Christmas. Welcome back, everybody. Look who we got with us. We got Christmas. Mama Christmas. She was just strutting outside the door. She was like, you know what, I think I want to come in with you. So she did. Here she is. Smell a little bit. What have you been into, huh? You been into something? Okay, there you go. Want to sit here next to me? You can. Yeah. I'm going to need this hand, though. I'm going to need this hand. Oh, boy. I'm going to need that hand. What's going to happen whenever I need to switch the track, or I need to actually do something with the stream? You don't care, do you? No. You're like, you're mine now. Well, once again, if you want to see what the list was, check out the Rank 'Em All Tool video. Came out yesterday. It is there. It exists. It is love. It is life. Where does Sphere Inoculum truly belong? What was your favorite? For those of you who have watched any of the Rank 'Em All videos, which one of those is your favorite? As we were talking about some old videos, I am a fan of a couple of those in particular, including the one that was sort of like the launch episode of Rank 'Em All. You know, which Big Four band had the best new album? Alright, well, Michael growling for 0.5 and their new sound, their new song. I don't care. I really don't care. Opeth doesn't need growls. I mean, if it was, if they were to go back to growling, would I mind? No, I wouldn't mind at all. But do I care that they don't growl? No. I love the band for what they are. I love the band for what they are. And that's never going to change, really. We have a lot of Rank 'Em Alls actually to get to. We have a lot of different Rank 'Em Alls to get to. I'll give you a little spoiler alert of which ones we have to get to. We have Rank 'Em All Catatonia upcoming. Rank 'Em All Machine Head, which will be very, very interesting, although I think a lot of folks know it's going to be at number last. Rank 'Em All Pink Floyd. Rank 'Em All Arion. Cannot not mention that. If I do that, then Gamma Angel will somehow respawn into the chat and just curse me out. So we have Rank 'Em All Pink Floyd, Rank 'Em All In Flames, also coming. Rank 'Em All Enslaved, Rank 'Em All Rush, and potentially Rank 'Em All Overkill. Potentially Rank 'Em All Overkill. Evil Toad, I did get your email. If I'm being honest, there is a good chance that you're going to see both. You're going to probably see both. So I will probably toss out a review of the new, it's not the new, but of the Persephone album, and also do the Rank 'Em All Overkill. The reason why is because I've already set the list and done sort of the preliminary work for it. So, and plus I love Overkill. It's going to be a long video, I know that. I'm going to hustle through as much as I can. Really the one thing about Overkill which should help with the length of the video is the fact that there aren't a lot of Overkill albums that are so, incredibly different from one another that you need to sit and really explain what an album is all about. They are thrash albums through and through. And the differences that you hear mainly are kind of minimal. Rank 'Em All Snowbolts. Rank 'Em All Zeitgeist. But top 10 zeitgeists in music. Just put Snow Bulks there 10 times. The upcoming song, Do or Die, is the heaviest Machine Head song according to session drummer Carlos Cruz. But hey, here's the question. It can be as heavy as it wants, but is it actually good? Hey, listen. I calculated how much it would take for a Rank 'em All Buckethead to take place. I did that. It would cost close to $10,000. So, yo, if you got $10,000 you just want to toss around, by all means, have a ball. Yo, if y'all want to kill me, if you want to see coverkillernation really, phone in a review or really phone in a list, there you have it. I had this funny idea, though, if I'm being honest with you. If I'm being really, really honest with you. I had this absurd idea. By the way, Guacamole, here is your track. Here's All Our Fans Are Gay. That's really, really nice. Anal Cunt had a lot of homosexual fans, and they're the original band that was, pro-LGBT, obviously. But I had this really strange and funny idea. But also something that would have maybe been, if I would have thought about it, would have been perfect for a week like this, or would have been perfect post Hurricane Dorian. To have, but of course, in doing this, I'd probably have to contact Buckethead and, okay everything. I would also probably want to use, good equipment. But imagine if you had a stream that was just doing nothing but playing every single Buckethead album in existence. Which, by the way, would take you at least a week. It would take you at least a week to play every single note of every single album. That's going 24/7. But imagine if you were doing that, and folks that came in, there was a link to, some charity for the hurricane, for Hurricane Dorian. They had the option, it was like Buckethead for Dorian or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? There you have it. All our fans are happy. All our fans are happy by Anus Carl. Howard Shore with Andriel. This is from the Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Cock Rings. Oh no, you know what? I wouldn't even put it on shuffle, Waterblonde. Or maybe I would for the ones that were not part of that series that he has going on and has had for the past couple years. That comic book looking thing. I forget what that's even called. It's slipping my mind right now. I wouldn't put those on shuffle. I'd play those straight through as is. That way, just in case you have to listen to 2 to understand 3, or listen to, 114 to understand the plot that wraps up in 164. I don't know why I'm considering, Buckethead albums to be Game of Thrones, but maybe you got to. What's my album of the year so far? Thank you, Scientist. Thank You, Scientist is my album of the year thus far this year. Just an absolutely phenomenal record. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Swallow the Sun is up there. Empath is up there from Devin Townsend. A couple others are doing pretty well. Tool is, I'm going to say, definitely going to make the top 20 or top 25. Unless I listen to a lot of stuff in the coming couple of months. In a very short period of time, that's going to eclipse it. Andy Scott, oh God, dude. Basically, all Andy, Scott, and I are the same person, or like very similar people with different hobbies that live live in 3 different countries. So basically, I'm the American Andy or the American Lurch, and Lurch is the Canadian me. Mr. Guacamole coming back. Wants to hear a little bit of Morbid Angel. Wants to hear Day of Suffering going toward number 1. Also, what is your opinion on Suffocation? Not too bad. I don't really talk about Suffocation all of that much. I think you can't really understate some of the importance of their first couple of albums on death metal. I think they are one of the bands that, depending on your company, gets a lot of love and a lot of support, or gets mentioned a good bit, or they're the Forgotten Sons. They constantly get overlooked behind acts such as Morbid Angel, Death, Obituary, maybe even Cynic, Atheist, groups of that. Suffocation, they started very young and did a heck of a job. Christmas, you just wanted in, now you want out again. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. I need to take a look at the conversion for that. Here you go, Chris. Oh boy. Thank you once again. We have 5-Star Grave with Daddy coming up next. This one was given to us thanks to Water Blanc. Thanks again. Remember, we're hoping for this stream to last to 7 or 7:30. And man, we are looking light on that queue. We have 1 track after this one. But if we end a little bit early today, we end a little bit early today. Nothing you can really do to help that. 5-Star Grave with Daddy. Let's do it. Daddy. Carcass was 100 times better than Morbid Angel. I wouldn't go with 100 times. I would say that I prefer Carcass to Morbid Angel. Although, in the grand scheme of things, I own more Morbid Angel albums. Or I have owned more Morbid Angel albums. Some of Carcass's earlier work is really tough to get by. That sounds like it is way too loud. There's some off balance with some of these requests I've been noticing. Anyway. That's not what I want. I want to get this converted. Damn it. $282. Heading toward number 1. Make sure that gets on there. That way everyone knows where we are at with accuracy. With accuracy. That actually puts us right on 174. Perfect. That's just loudness war. I see. Well, it's a good era too. I mean, first part of this decade was still extending the loudness war that we got from the latter part of the 2000s. Ill Disposed, not too bad. I feel they're a little bit, they suffer from being within a mold that has a lot of brothers and sisters. There's a lot of groups that give off that ill-disposed sound or that vibe. They kind of fit right in as opposed to truly feeling like they stand out. Edge of Sanity is better than Morbid Angel. I would probably agree with that. And it's only because Edge of Sanity has two albums that to me are either legitimate album of the year contenders or are album of the years for the years that they were released. Crimson, definitely an album of the year. Crimson 2, I don't think would have the same distinction. It's damn good, but album of the year good, I don't think it's quite there. I would say that's a no. Revocation's good. Again, the thing that you have to remember is that with big time scenes, or scenes that get a lot of attention, if you ever have a time where you're a little bit off, you're going to feel like you lag behind. I think Revocation has been able to keep themselves together and are a name that, shockingly, I was expecting to get a ton of press and really blow up and become something really, I don't want to say big, you know, by big I'm saying like, you know, they sell 25,000 copies of an album perhaps. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that at all. So, I don't know what's happened with that, but maybe Revocation just hasn't clicked with nearly the same number of folks as say like a Black Dahlia Murder. Black Dahlia Murder has also been around for longer than Revocation has. Unhallowed came out first part of the 2000s. Back in the day, there were some folks that didn't realize what Black Dahlia Murder was. Whenever Unhallowed came out, they were trying to package it like it was a metalcore band. That's a true story. I saw that in a store once and was like, this is wrong. Because I'd already purchased the album. I already owned it. So it's real weird. Like, for example, I was selling a copy of Unhallowed in a CD sale. I'd gotten that out of a box that I had picked up from a buddy of mine who's in caricature and formerly was a touring musician with Aborted. And looking at that album, I was like, oh man, this brings back some memories. Because you know exactly what time it was, like 2003. We're talking a long time ago. Looking at that made me want to look at my copy, and well, you just remember this stuff. Anything CD Cell related, by the way, is over on Discogs now. coverkillernation, as you might imagine, is the name over on Discogs. You can become a friend if you like. You can buy some stuff if you like. Unfortunately, at the current moment, all the shipments I'm doing are U.S. only. I'm only doing U.S. Through Discogs. Really, in general, I think, because international shipping has not been kind to me. Waterblanc can confirm. Worst part about getting that package back, whenever I tried to ship something to Waterblanc, was not the fact that it came back, but it was the fact that it came back looking like somebody threw it on a road, like a dusty road, and just beat the shit out of it. Here's Day of Suffering by Morbid Angel. This is off of Blessed Are the Sick. So we're going old school with this right here. Waterblanc, by the way, coming back with another €229. Wants to hear some Hexen with Chaos Aggressor. You know, the funny thing about Hexen is the fact that I was trying to locate an album of theirs on Discogs the other day. Couldn't, because it was actually what I was listening to from back in, like, I want to say 2005. It's actually a demo album. Yeah, that post office, I don't even know what to say about that. That was ridiculous. But again, we kind of thought that something may go down, or that it wouldn't be clean once it got there, you know? We had some doubts. But you know, anytime you do something for the first time, you're insistent. It's going to work! It's going to work! And it doesn't, so. What can you do? The Slick Boys record from 1986 is in better shape as opposed to LPs you bought in 98 and 91. Oh, super record. Man, this is one of the... B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O. Turn that down a little bit. Should be okay now. Should be good. I can't wait to get out of this place. I can't wait to get out of this place, man. At one point, this place was everything that I needed, and now it is everything that I hate. Chaos Aggressor by Hexen coming up next, in fact. Number 1 is Having a Ball. Oh God. That scared me. That scared me. Corner was shredding ahead of their time. Corner was, and still is, a decent band, I gotta say. Their stuff, Corner's work, is kind of hard to locate in America for a price that does not feel like you are donating a testicle to someone. Oi, oi, oi. $3,000 to rent? Whew. I'll tell you one thing. If anything, if I was paying $3 or $3,000 for rent, I best have a fortune that is like stashed away somewhere. Guess who doesn't actually have a fortune stashed away somewhere? That would be me. So, shit. Whenever I reviewed the Vice and ripped it to shreds, thank you, Review Realm. That was pretty fun, I got to admit. Mario with $15. I'm assuming it's probably going to number 1. Once again, we have Merging Flare with Alliance and Defiance. We have Miseria Ultima with Allegiance. And then we have some Shiraz Lane with Do You. 3 great tracks. $300,000 to sell. Woohoo! I tell you what, if I owned this place and wasn't renting it, I don't think I could get $30,000 for this building. I really don't think I could. There's 4 apartments here. It's a 2-story building. It has a basement. It's an old piece of real estate. But it has been treated like such shit. It has been treated like such shit and has not gotten what has been needed for it in order for it to flourish, in order for it to, continue and be a healthy place to, be a healthy place to live. None of those things have happened to it in a long time. And you can tell whenever you walk around it. You can tell whenever you go into the units and see there are holes that have been patched over very poorly. It's just not a good place any longer. Our unit, we kept it real nice. We kept it as nice as we could for what we had. Well, because we've been here for about 5 years. We've been here for a while. And here in 2019, and if you're a fan of the CKN Instagram or even the Facebook page, you saw some of the photos of the stuff that has happened this year. We've seen 2 parts of our kitchen that we're not supposed to see. Water Blanc, by the way, $2.29 further with Sombering Sail Astral. We're going to get that in there. I'm sure that goes toward number 1 as well. We'll add the 253 on board to what we've got so far. So that takes it to a 4. And it takes it to an 06. Nearing $200, nearing a third of the way funded. Napalm Death, you suffer. Heading toward number 1. You suffer, but why? We're getting it going. Thank you very much. That's from Guacamole. Holy moly, guacamole. That's 113, heading toward that numero uno. Slowly but surely we are getting there. And 113 puts it at 195. 19. I think we know what you guys want to say. Moving in the fall and winter absolutely sucks. You are very correct. Did the two super chats by you Akira? Yes, I got them both included, my friend. I got them both included, Blanca. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Astrolight? Is it supposed to be astral or just or astrolight? Did something happen with that? That is one song? Yeah. The two that I included was Chaos Aggressor by Hexen, the one we're listening to right now, and then Sombering Sail with Astral. Oh, you're asking if there was an extra one that showed up? No. No, it was just the one. I thought you were talking about the Hexen one as well. No, only one showed up. The one from Guacamole came directly after it. Whenever we moved into this place, we moved in November. And we got fortunate. It was a cool day. It was like sort of drizzling. It wasn't raining very, very hard. So it was acceptable. I think that's the best way I could put it. It was an acceptable day to move. I really would not encourage, moving any later than that. Oh, it's Astrolight? Okay. Hopefully whenever, that should be something that happens whenever I look into it. Look into playing it. Thank you, dude. You know what, let's just go ahead and play it now. Let's get it out of the way. Well, not get it out of the way, but want to make sure we can get the right song. Sombering Sail with Astrolight. In fact, we'll go ahead and get both of those two super chats clear, and then we'll get to Maru's 3 tracks. Because, the next song, longest song we'll ever listen to. So this is Astrolight by Sombering Sail off an album entitled Obscure. It's not obscure, it's obscure. See some folks in there talking about Disturbed. Listen, whenever it comes to Disturbed, I feel like they are a band that they get a lot of division sometimes without people even listening to their music. Or I feel that there are those that think that they can't listen to the band because, you're hardcore heavy metal, you're deep in the underground. You can't possibly enjoy anything that's popular or streamlined. Listen, enjoy what you enjoy. The one thing that I've learned, one of the many things that I've learned throughout my musical journey is if you allow yourself to be surprised and not just blindly hate something, that feeling of surprise is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. But if you've tried the band and you just don't like them, that's your opinion. Go for it, man. And that's kind of how I feel about just about any band, The folks that say that they hate Opeth, that's their opinion. The ones that don't even try to like them because they don't growl anymore, I can't get behind that. That's just a bunch of crap. You're not even giving it a go. Evil Toad with smoke signals with crawling back. He says all he can spare, and he wants it to go to number 3. Evil Toad is bucking the trend. He's deciding to go somewhere else. He decides to go to the top 25 albums of the 2010s and get it at $15, which only puts it $180.19 behind our current leader. Isn't Cacophony the band with Marty Freeman and Jason Becker? It is. That is the band indeed. That's the one. Very, very interesting track that we have here from Sombering Sail. Definitely feels like it, what you would expect from a name such as Sombering Sail, I must say. My favorite normie entry-level metal band. Who does that include exactly? I guess Metallica on there, because I'd probably go with them. Metallica was the band that got me into heavy metal, so I would assume that would be my pick. So I'm thinking that that's what I would do. First 4 Van Halen records. I think Van Halen's kind of overrated. Static X without Wayne Static wrong? Yeah, I think it kind of is. It just kind of feels wrong, but I don't know. Like, it almost feels like a paycheck, you know? It feels like it's a paycheck. I know it's meant to be an homage, but I haven't seen or heard nearly enough from that to really determine if it's actually an homage or if it's just truly a paycheck. To me, it sounds like it's going to be a paycheck. You know? Yeah, they're in... The song that came after that track from Sombering Sails was going to be the beginning is the end is the beginning by the Smashing Pumpkins, and they have on there The Watchman. I'm going to tell you right now, that song ain't from The Watchman. It might have been on the soundtrack, but that's not where it's from. That's from Batman Forever, or Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin. That's an older track. Blink and you'll miss this song. We'll play it one more time, actually. There you go. Thanks, Guacamole. It was You Suffer by Napalm Death. You could actually play that like 10 times. We probably should. Alright. Before we get into these tracks from Maru, and I'm going to add in this track from Water Blanc real quick, I think we're going to move on to a short break in the action for just a couple of moments. Kiddo Bonito with Swimming from Water Blanc. The 253 will be added right here, right now, because I know where that's going. That's going towards numero uno. And 253 is going to put us at 197. 72. The AC is louder than the music. Good God. See you later, Guacamole. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed. You're the only person that has ever gotten to hear their song 17 times, or however many times that was. But before we move forward, we are going to take a quick little recess. And I'm going to leave you guys for just a moment. And y'all are going to get Ecclesiastes, a vernal catnap from Oliver. And I will return momentarily. Oh, by the way, this track, something else. So enjoy it while I'm going. I'll be right back. And we will get to the second half of the stream. Take care. Where the hell How did that go? Stepping over stuff that I've clearly thrown.
Forgjeves sier forkynneren, forgjeves, forgjengelig. Alt er forgjeves. Hva har mennesket en forskjellsstrøm? For alt det strevende under solen. Slekter kommer. Men jorden er alltid det samme. Solen går opp, og solen går ned. Så lengter den tilbake til stedet der den var. Den skinner og vandrer mot sør. Så vender den og vandrer mot nord. Mens vinden snur og skifter og tar fatt på sin rundgang igjen. Alle ungdommer renner ut til havet, men havet blir ikke fullt. Dit øynene før rent, fortsetter de renn. Alle ting går til streksvømmer. Menneskets strekker ikke til. Øyet blir ikke mettet med selv. Øren blir ikke fullt av å høre. Det som har skjedd, skal ikke skje. Det som ble gjort, skal gjøres på nytt. Intet er nytt under solen. Jeg har sagt om noen, se, dette er nytt, har det likevel hendt i tidligere tider, lenge før oss. Ingen minnes det som før har hendt, og det som skal komme, vil heller ingen minnes de slektene som følger.
coming back in, are you? Coming back. Oh, you've moved, Nemo. Hello. I tell you what, let's just keep that door open. Let's just keep it open. Hello, everybody. Well, I do have a bit of a programming update for everybody. While I was on break, I received a phone call that was of kind of paramount importance. First of all, our friendly neighborhood tech department says hello to all of you wonderful people. She's been in stream before, mostly last year. However, she's going to be in need of conversation. So after we complete the last 5 songs that we have in our queue, we will be ending things a little early. We will be ending things a little bit early today. We're not going to make it to 7 o'clock. We'll make it, I'm going to say probably till about 6 or 6:30, but that's going to be about it. This, I feel, it's important, okay? It's definitely important, because getting a random phone call like that doesn't happen. So, even right now, I'm a little worried that something has happened that is not good. So, I'm going to take care of that situation. That is very, very important. So yes. So we will have 5 final tracks. We'll end with Quiero Quiero Bonito with Swimming. Donations as of right now are not necessarily being cut off. It's just that if you are going to request a track, it will not be heard today. It will not get played until our next stream, just as an FYI. Mark, I'm hoping the same thing, and you guys can't tell this because I am the only person that can really tell this, but you ever get that sort of like sinking feeling? And that's kind of what I'm feeling at the moment. So we're going to get through these tracks, and what this will mean, we're going to get to Alliance in Defiance by Merging Flare, first of all. What this means is that the next stream that we have, which is going to be later on this week, my guess is probably going to be Thursday, considering Thursday worked out really well for us last week, aside from the Super Chat thing. Thursday stream will hopefully run either a little bit longer, like head toward 8 o'clock Eastern Time, either that or start a little bit earlier. So, yes. What do I mean by a sinking feeling? The best way that I can put it is you're going through your day, you feel fine, and then you either hear some news or something happens and you kind of get that like sinking feeling deep in your gut and in your stomach, almost like you're hungry, but you know that it's not based around hunger. So yeah. You listen to work on Thursday? Hey, I don't want to get you in trouble, Ethereal Catholic, but I thank you for the support. We will hopefully not be too big of a distraction. That way you don't attract the attention of your bosses and higher-ups. John, this week on Days of Your Steelers, first of all, there's no real drama. We just suck. We just got our asses handed to us. We just got tagged. Yeah, Mar, there's a great way to put it. It means you're super worried. Like I said, I don't get random phone calls very often. In most cases, whenever I get calls, I'm either aware of them because there's been a text conversation going on, or it's just my folks who live like right over there, and nothing they're going to tell to me is going to cause me any sort of dread. Even though I have a great uncle right now who's 97 in the hospital and not doing well, if I were to get the call that said that he passed, I would be happier than I would be sad, because the man is just, he's ready to go, you know, he's ready to go. Let the dude have some peace, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, how's the hair? The little bit that's left is hanging on for dear life, my friend. Aside from that, the rest of me's doing alright. Just remember this, whenever you get older, a lot of your hair will migrate from up top to down below, and whenever that happens, oh dear. Whenever you go to grip yourself, you're going to be searching through a jungle. It's going to be like those commercials for like Match.com or whatever. Your dick's going to be, you know, completely engulfed by your freaking nut hair, and it's just going to say up to you, come find me. Imagine a naked girl touching herself. I can do that. Yeah, is what it is. That's reality right there, my friend. Is something. And gray, I know what that's about too. Over by my ears, slowly but surely. It's the exact same spot that my father started to go gray first off whenever he was younger, except for one spot that was like back here, like right by his skull, like the back part of his skull. He had one little patch where it was just white, and it was just that little area. That was it. It was weird. It was strange. That's all good, no worries. It's probably just my conversation about age and ball hair. You know. The ageless Tom Brady. The only thing that I have to look forward to is the day that he says I'm going to retire. You know, whenever he's 49 years old. I really figured by now that model wife of his would say, you know, I don't see enough of you, Tom. But then again, it's probably better off that way. The less she sees of him, the less the chance that they have to interrupt their perfect little marriage by, you know, starting to actually, you know one another and hate each other. You know, because, Lord, let something happen to the great Tom Brady. That man made a crossroads deal with the devil. We have Miseria Ultima with Allegiance. This just came out a week ago. This is brand new from their upcoming second album. The last track and this track both have been requested by Maru, which, hey, very good, very good, very good. How old am I? I am 35. Man. Might as well go for something even worse. See ya. Bye-bye. I clicked a button. I clicked buttons. I do that all the time. Who's going to beat that? Surprisingly enough, if you want to talk sports for a moment, Brady is not the only person with 6 Super Bowl rings. He is not the only one. Well, okay, Super Bowl rings probably. Wait a minute. I need to remember the official statistic. There are those that have, I believe there are folks that also have 11 appearances as well, but most that have tied that mark have been players that were around prior to the Super Bowl. So, folks that were on those Green Bay Packers teams from the 60s that were consistently playing in the championship game, but it was prior to the Super Bowl's inception. I'm trying to remember the history as best as I can, even though I just saw these statistics literally 2 nights ago. But again, whenever people are talking about Tom Brady, my mind tends to go other places and like remember that other shit exists in the world. Autogram. Very good. Yes, Autogram is one of them. Although, wait a minute, that's 10. That's 10. I don't know if they included Autogram because I don't know if he was in the 11th, if he made it to the 11th. But that name does ring a bell from the graphic. But yeah, back in the old NFL days, prior to the Super Bowl, it was a little bit more commonplace for folks to be in a number of them. Very similar to how Bill Russell was in, I think it was 11 NBA championship games because of that Boston Celtics team from the 1960s. 1960s was just, I mean, you talk about the era of, dynasty. Take a look at the 1960s in sports, and you'll notice that, oh boy, you haven't seen anything yet. I still look young? Thank you. I appreciate that. That makes me feel very, very good. I don't totally feel young all the time. I watched a video earlier today that brilliantly stated that once you turn 30, your body slowly but surely starts to work against you. And man, is that just the truth. I remember being in my late 20s and thinking, man, I can do everything and anything. I can just go, go, go. I was like a little Energizer bunny, I could do whatever. Move an apartment to another apartment in the same day, and then, maybe go to work that night or go to work the next day, get your wisdom teeth out, go to work or want to go to work that same afternoon. They basically have to force you not to do it. I mean, back in the day, it was just like you kept on going. Then you hit your 30s. Like, literally, whenever I hit 30, a couple of years ago, it was like, fuck. Man. All of a sudden, that energy level just starts to plummet. And you have to just keep going. Like, you have to kind of kick yourself in the ass to keep going. Like, there are still some things that, no matter what happens, I will always jump to do or jump to accomplish. Like this phone call that I'm going to be making here soon as an example. I mean, it takes no energy to make a phone call. All you have to do is be engaged. And, whenever you have, and again, the same video said that a lot of your friends disappear. You only have like 2 friends. And well, so whenever one of them comes calling, that's important to you. Basically, the things that become important or that have been important to you usually remain important, and you don't take nearly the same amount of bullshit. Like a lot of the ways in which you would, like the way I would have acted in my 20s is different than the way I do act in my 30s. And in some ways, the videos are a great reflection of that, because you notice that back then, there was a little bit more of that animation and anger, or, a lot of noticeable pitch difference. Whereas now there's a lot more calm. I'm generally an anxious individual. I've been diagnosed, both depression and anxiety, the duo. It's there. But, the control is very different. Shiraz Lane with Do You coming up next. After this track, we have 2 more that we will be playing, and then we are going to be heading out. Oh, for Christ's sake, it's another Grammarly commercial. My Christ. How long is this going to go on? Like, I understand that folks are just shit at writing or speech or whatever. But my fleeking God, man. My fleeking God. That is absurd. I remember whenever YouTube was so desperate, I guess they weren't having very good luck finding and securing folks for ads, that they were just advertising themselves prior to videos. And if you thought that YouTube would give out a decent CPM, oh, yeah, you'd be wrong. Why is he getting ads for grandma? Maybe YouTube's trying to tell me that my writing sucks, which is, I mean, facts, really. Let's just be honest here. My writing is clearly worse than yours, Mango, which, I mean, I'm just going to be honest. Just facts. Gotta be true. Impossible to be false. CKN versus actual writer. CKN loses every time. Cheers to that, mind you. Yeah, with that premium and all that and YouTube Red, they're supposed to distribute the ad revenue that is missed out on. But the way in which they distribute that doesn't work very well. Doesn't work very well. I sound more mature than you? I sometimes feel it. But I'll tell you, I am also in numerous moments far, far more immature than my age suggests. Principally because I enjoy having fun still. Like, that's the thing. If I never have kids, that's going to be a damn shame because fuck, I'd be a cool dad. I'd be a cool as fuck dad, I'll tell you that. My kid, you know, my children probably wouldn't think so. They'd probably be like, oh god, there's dad being lame again. There's dad saying yeet just because he fucking wants to again, like a retard. You know. Oh, there's dad going on one of his so-called infamous YouTube rants about a Ludivinium Insanus. It's the 25th anniversary of the album, and dad's in a bad mood. Hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, well. If it did, then lucky, I would have to agree with it as well. You do have an air of maturity to you. It's one that is flappable, but I do believe that's true within us all. Can also be true. Having fun is not immature. All depends on who you ask. Because I'll tell you, if my parents, as a good example, did some of the things that I've done in their 30s. So that is to say, I'm like 1 or 2 years old at that stage because they were 34 whenever they got me. I'm adopted, so whatever. I have a feeling being a parent changes you a little bit, but I can't see it changing me so much where I would just be so incredibly different than what I am right now. I would just have that air of responsibility for a human being as opposed to 7 cats. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe this is just how I'd be as a dad, because I kind of take the responsibility of the cats as the same as a human, only it's a lot more low maintenance. It's a lot less tech. You know? They poop on their own in a special design spot pretty much from birth. You know? Like, you don't have to clean up a lot of messes. You know, it's not like I'm going to be holding one of them and all of a sudden I'm going to get a nice puke drip, you know, on my shirt. Oh, excuse me. Really, if that happens, there's a good chance that means there's a problem. Smoke signals with crawling back, by the way, from Evil Toad, of 1 track after this, and then that's going to do her for today. Thanks to everyone who stopped out. Want to say that right in advance. Brad Harris dropping a 10 spot. Just giving us the horns. I appreciate that, Brad. I do appreciate that. But hey, Brad, I do have one final question for you whenever it comes to that $10. Hey, where's it going? Is it going to number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4? Those options are all on your left. It's part of the bid war. I appreciate it. All the Now videos. I have to do one more of those before all is said and done. I have made a promise to myself and to some others. Watched too many of my videos over the years? There's never too many. Go back, do it again. That's what I've been doing. Yeah, I know. I've been watching my own stuff. You know what sparked this? You know what sparked this? Number 1, you said. Number 1. Okay, thank you, Brad. I'll tell you what sparked me watching all those videos. Is that, I received a comment on the Rank 'em All for Tool that spoke about a verbal tick of mine, an oratory tick that I have. I'm trying to remember exactly what it even was at this point. I think it was saying whenever as opposed to just saying when. You know, overcomplicating something and also using a word that has different utility and can sometimes confuse meaning. So I started watching all these old videos as I know that I've had multiple oral tics throughout the years. I know there are words that I utilize way more than I need to. Synonyms never come to mind, or synonyms wouldn't even help the situation. It would be best off if some of the words were just eliminated in general. In general being another one. There you go. No picture of old Maru. I want pictures of old and new Maru. That makes me sound really creepy though. Honestly, I just kind of want it because, you know, how many of us have we actually seen? Woods of Ypres, or Woods of Ypres. I love how there are so many folks that say that band name two different ways. Woods of Ypres, Woods of Ypres. I have seen you, Blanky. That is very, very true. Instagram is a wonderful thing sometimes. And alright. We have to spend too much money in this life? Hey, that is a true, true sentiment. Believe me. Best part about it is that we are, at least in the streaming age, noticing that a lot of folks are very community driven and community oriented. What was that? What was that? I have a co-pilot for this last track. This is Ember. This is Embert. I can't do the roll of the R's very well. Embert. There we go. I guess I can. I lied to you. Usually this little one... Oh, see you later. She usually comes in to hang out with me or to hang out with her mama. She's probably left because I'm not laying down. She enjoys laying down and having her head up on my leg. Is Faith too old? No. No, she's younger than I am. We actually do have a bit of an age gap. Like, she hasn't hit her 30s yet. She's getting close, but I keep reminding her, you know, I'm giving her those reminders that once you hit 30, things are going to be different. Here's Kiro Bonito with swimming and another Grammarly ad. Ay, caramba, someone is telling me something. I have to look at this one of two ways. She from Washington, D.C.? No, she's not. Here's the thing. Maybe all those Grammarly ads are telling me that I need to finally stop putting off writing a novel and just do it in the post-CKN dream. Oh, you meant the hardcore bit. See, context, it helps. Haha. That and I can't follow chat I can't follow chat all the time. Quid pro quo, Clarice. Quid blah blah blah. Not Mrs. Lauren. It's just a miss. We're not married, and we won't be. That's been a discussion. And I'm not the one who shut it down, even. That's the funny part about that. Anyway. I think there's a better chance of me marrying my tech department. Anyway. This is really cool. This is really, really relaxing. Kind of makes me feel a little better about the phone call that I'm about to make. And hope that everything and everybody is okay. So we made it to about 6:10. I guess I thought that these tracks were a little longer than they were. That's okay. Hey, Brad Harris, if you are still here, I appreciate the donation. I'm going to give you actually a pair of days. Our next stream is going to be on Thursday. Our next day is going to be, or our next stream is going to be on Thursday. So, hey, consider yourself a song. Consider yourself a song that is 10 minutes in length, or, you know, it could be a pair of songs that add up to 10 minutes. Let me know what you want to hear on Thursday, and we will play it for that donation. That was very generous. I appreciate that. You just got back from playing with your new puppy. Why is your new puppy not there with you, Necro? Come on, my man. I will let you know how things went on Thursday, Mark, and hopefully it will be, you know, everything will be okay, and I'll have good news. Anyone heard the band's Wolves in the Throne Room? Hell yeah! I actually own Celestial Lineage. Pretty damn good album. Diadem of the 12 Stars is kind of a secret hope that I can one day snag. But it's a little hard to find. A little hard to find. Hey dude, it's 11. He's asleep. Puppies don't sleep. I don't know what you're talking about. If it's 11 o'clock, all the cats are just starting to ramp up. The last stream of this year must end on a Trees of Eternity song. That's going to be really, really heartbreaking. Because I'll tell you what, that's going to be a really sad stream. It's going to be a really, really sad stream. Because that's going to double up as like the official goodbye. That's going to double up as like the official goodbye. So, wow. That's going to be rough. The song doesn't make me nearly as emotional as it once did. However, it will be... there will be added emotion based off of that. I play Ghost of Perdition. Remind me on Thursday, because I'm sure that I will... forget by that point. So just keep that in your mind there, Brad. Mango, there'll still be plenty. There'll still be Instagram. I'll still be streaming in 2020 every so often. I'm just not sure when the next one would be afterward. We're making plans for something that's still a long time from now. I need to consider what's about to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for stopping out and checking out the stream today and adding on to the bid war. Right now we have CKN's top 50 albums of all time leading the way with 207.72. All the other ones barely have anything. We gotta get some folks that really want to see 2, 3, or 4. And they're going to need some big help if they want that to happen. So remember, if it doesn't make the $600 and it doesn't beat the winner, it doesn't get made. So, it's going to be rough. But I believe in you guys, and I believe everybody who perhaps isn't even here today that will be here for some of the other streams. I'll let you know how things go on Thursday. CKN out. Take care, everybody.